NASCAR definitely knows how to show respect to the men and women that serve in our military and that have served, giving them the proper respect that they are due. We definitely appreciate the men and women that wear the uniform and protect our country and our freedoms and give us the opportunity to do what we love to do, and that's today watch racing and watch these cars go around this racetrack and get ready for a full weekend of racing. The Camping World Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Sprint Cup Series, all with an elimination race this weekend. Dave.
Rick, we're all parents, and so we all have these lines that we use with our kids sometimes when they have done something that maybe draws our ire. We ask them if they've had time to think about their actions. Well, here was the funny conversation between crew chief Dave Rogers and his driver of the 19, Carl Edwards.
5 minutes is enough time to think about your actions here? Yeah, it's kind of silly, really. Perfect for you. I'm getting punished for your actions. Thought way back when is to give the teams the penalties and people give us great penalties. So their thought was, well, if we make the driver sit in the car, the driver will put more heat on the teams, and the teams won't do these silly things that they do.
And then they got into a discussion about corporal punishment and the whole works. But anyway, point is now Carl is on track for practice, and he will be in qualifying trim as well as his other teammate, Denny Hamlin.
And it is a penalty for the driver to sit in that race car in the pit road for 15 minutes. It's hot.
Yes.
Steve?
It is hot. Now, speaking of hot,
discretions make it difficult for the
things heated up for Carl Edwards. And the incredibly close finish between Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick. Take a look at Edwards making his way onto pit road.
Well, it all started right here with the decision to pit and get fresh tires. Before it was the dominant car all day, but the 19 came and got that fresh set of Goodyear tires. Forces the issue in the middle of the corner. I don't blame him. I like that move, and I don't blame Kevin Harvick for the second shot. I think I said Kevin Harvick. I mean, it might have been Carl Edwards as well, but in the end, Kevin Harvick by just a few inches. There are no pictures on the scorecard, so that's still a win in Kevin Harvick's column.
And of course, Carl was over there congratulating Kevin. I'm not so sure Kevin was saying, "Hey, thank you for that," or "That was fun racing you that way," because that was a hard hit there that they took coming out of 4.
I saw smiles on both their faces. You know, look, this is big business. This isn't intramural sports. This is the top motorsport in the U.S. But in the end, Jeff, that was 2 guys racing for a checkered flag, which is how it all started years ago.
Yeah, and there were smiles because the guy that was running second finished second. If the guy running second would have hit the guy running first, and the guy running first now didn't finish first, they wouldn't have been smiling so much.
Mike Massaro.
Well, as Carl Edwards turns his way into the garage, he's one of the guys who's already punched his ticket to the championship Ford Homestead. The other guy, well, we've talked about him a few times already. Jimmie Johnson going for the coveted 7th career title. And Rick, you mentioned earlier in the show that he had a very special helmet for several weeks, one that depicted an image of Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. Well, Jimmie has debuted a brand new helmet here this week. He just got out of the race car. You can see him taking the helmet off, and you can see on the back of that helmet, little different graphic, just simply says 7 with the fluorescent yellow 7 in the middle, certainly pointing in the direction of what he hopes to claim in Homestead next week. As for Jimmie and this practice so far, been in qualifying trim the whole time, just letting the car cool down again before they go out and make another run. They've changed rear shocks. They're also going to pay attention to that. But a question I had for you guys. We just saw Carl Edwards pull into the garage. We now know we've got 2 drivers who are in the championship 4. So I guess it's, you know, about that time we start handicapping the championship race. We've got a couple of guys. How do you see this matchup between Jimmie and Carl in Homestead?
Well, I know that Carl Edwards is exceptionally excited about going to Homestead. I saw Carl earlier this week, and they were one of the teams that went down and tested at Homestead, and he said that he believed wholeheartedly now that they have a shot, they can get it done. He is excited and fired up and believes that they can win this championship. And we'll see. I don't think any of them are going to say they're not good enough to win, but I will tell you that Carl Edwards had a look in his eye, and he definitely believes they can win that championship.
He said it after he lost to Tony Stewart You've got to lose one and know the feeling of losing one to be able to win one. And so that's the way he walked away from the championship that he lost. Tied in the points to Tony Stewart with the tiebreaker. Stewart got the championship. Carl Edwards finished second.